Hi guys. So this is my video on the four theories that we've been learning in class, and just about their interventions and what theory I would implement in my own work. What fits me the best. So let's start out strong with Gestalt. Whitley and we presented on this theory for our project. Gestalt theory is just all about seeing things as a whole instead of its pieces. I like the idea of stepping back and just seeing the bigger picture. It's easy to drown in your thoughts. You could have a bad day, but that doesn't mean it's a bad life, essentially, is how I view it. It was a very interesting theory to do research on. I figured it would be like a really hard theory, and honestly, it made a lot of sense, and seeing it like implemented into counseling was eye-opening compared to just research on it. I personally liked its views. Whitley and I both did. I'd tell her that her personality is very Gestalt. But it's viewed as a selfish theory. It's kind of given a negative outlook for that from outsiders, but when implemented right and in counseling, it's not as harsh as it sounds. For the intervention for Gestalt, I picked the empty chair method. Whitley and we did our role play on that for our project. It's as simple as communicating with an empty chair, or in class we saw the video of the girl using both of her hands. And it's as simple as imagining something or someone. Could be yourself, past, present, future. Could be a family member, friend, a thing, like you name it. It personally felt uncomfortable when we implemented them in class or even in role play with Whitley. When you don't really have a current issue that like would require the empty chair method, it just felt weird and forced. But I know based off of like my personality, I could see it being like beneficial for me if it was used in the right scenario. I just have like a people pleaser personality, and it makes it hard sometimes to speak up for myself. So with this intervention, I can confront the issue at hand without confronting the actual source. So I see it taking pressure off of clients or getting them prepared for like actual interactions with the problem at hand. So just thought it was very intriguing to learn, and I liked it actually. Next, do person-centered. Person-centered theory is when a client discovers themselves like at their own pace and like their own leadership. The client takes charge in this theory pretty much, and the counselor just gives guidance. I personally see this theory being beneficial as long as the client is open to communication. It would be hard for the client to lead if they don't like to communicate. It just requires a lot of discussion and talking things out like amongst yourself for the client. So you just kind of lay everything out to find yourself. If your client isn't a talker and tends to struggle with communication or opening up, I don't think that would be the theory for them to help them. And the counselor's main focus is to help guide the client as they're figuring out their journey for themselves and just to act like as a helping hand. The intervention I picked for person-centered was client-centered therapy. Uh, it's just like the title. The client is the center of attention. Um, they control the session and their feelings and what is said, you name it. The counselor is to give empathy and just be an active listener for that client. I view it like in shorter terms as like venting to the counselor and letting everything out and trying to understand like what and when, how, why by reflecting on the issue. And the counselor is there to comfort and learn and to understand. Um, they are there to be a good supporter and like their number one fan as they discover themselves. So the next one is CBT, cognitive behavior theory. Just it for me, it's finding and recognizing your thoughts, or the client's thoughts, and turning them around for the better, for good. Um, Helping change how you feel and act. Um, Improving or changing your thoughts equals improving your overall mental health, essentially. Um, like when I think of counseling, this is the theory I imagine being used due to like the stereotypical depiction of counseling. I see CBT as more broad than the other three theories, um, because like person-centered is not really like specific client-wise, but like your client has to be able to communicate or it's not gonna work. So your client has to be pretty social. And then Gestalt just kind of works for certain issues. CBT I can see kind of working for many things, essentially. So I have my notes on the side too. It's just this theory, like, I know takes a lot of time and reflection. Um, and the counselor, like, their job, again, is pretty much to be an avid listener. Um, Another thing I really like about this series is that it implements homework. Now, I don't know if the client would really like that, but I view it as beneficial. I know when you have something like once a week, like every Tuesday, like you don't necessarily think about it till that next Tuesday. So I think the homework's good to keep it on the brain and refresh. You know, I just think it'd be beneficial throughout the week. So an intervention I picked for CBT. Well, actually, I didn't pick one. I kind of liked them all because I realized I pretty much use them in my own life. I enjoyed looking at them because I use, like, I've tried meditation. I enjoy it. I just don't get around to it as much. I like journaling. Again, I don't do it every day, but if I find I need it for my own, like, mental health or just to calm down, I think journaling's great. It improves my mood or changes my thoughts on things. It's just, why not? I feel like it's pretty beneficial. Exposure therapy was also something I saw. I thought that was interesting because I don't know, if you do it wrong, I could see it being very harmful for a client, but um, like whereas like journaling and meditation, there's not really a negative outcome. Like maybe it doesn't work for every client, and that's fine, but I don't really see it having a negative outcome, whereas exposure therapy could. But if done right, I could see that being very beneficial for a client. So I just thought that was cool. Um, so the fourth one, yay, is existential theory. Uh, Ending with this one, because it is the most difficult out of the four for me to kind of wrap my mind around. Uh, like, I understand what they're trying to present and come across, but when trying to, like, break it down into, like, layman's terms, bear with me. So existential theory, it reminds me of, like, kind of finding confidence in yourself, like focusing on finding your meaning, like your independence, like promoting your own choice, like you have a choice in things, um, and like your responsibility. So the counselor and the client uh kind of work together finding what makes you you, essentially. Like being open to your real unique self. What makes you you? Um, so the intervention I picked for existential, from my understanding, there wasn't like a set kind of intervention, but there was points that the counselor can like touch on with their client for this theory. And the one that stuck out to me was defining and affirming self-achieving freedom. So I broke it down as like this is when faced with challenges or issues, learn to use self affirmations. So I love the idea of self affirmations. I wish I did it more. I have friends who do it. They'll do like the little sticky notes and put them on their mirror, and read them in the morning. I love that. Um, I think it's a great thing to put in your daily life. It I feel like it really helps you to see the positives in life and situations. Learning how to use like self affirmations in hard times can be just beneficial to how you feel about yourself and open your eyes to what makes you you and how that's amazing, awesome. You're a cool person. Everyone is special in their own way, so it's nice to recognize what makes you so unique and acknowledge that. So, but to end it, I had to pick which theory fits me the most. And I concluded with, I think, person centered theory personally fits my personality. I've just always been known to be the listener in my friend group, and it seems natural for me. I'll give advice to my friends when needed, but I would rather just like kind of let them lead the conversation until they need my help or guidance. Um, I just kind of, let them vent, um, because it just normally makes them feel better just to get it all out and not interrupt and just be there for them. Acknowledge you're there, give them empathy, and then when they need my help or they need my guidance, offer it up. But, not overstep. Sometimes people just want a listening ear. So, I would think person centered theory would fit my personality the most, but if not that, I would say runner up would be CBT. I really like the interventions that come with it. And I would like enjoy giving the homework because I participate in that kind of stuff myself. And I trust that it would help in people's daily life. So I just feel like those two fit me the most. But I hope y'all learned something. Thanks for listening.